A very good morning to you Kenyan citizens. Karibu sana. This is the Current Affairs segment. You trusted source for the latest news, insightful discussions, and impactful stories shaping our nation and beyond. I'm Angela Kabete, and together with Mr. Kimotho, we'll dive into the latest news and uncover the truth behind what has been happening that is in our country and beyond. So make sure that you stay tuned as we break it down right here, right now. A very good morning to you.
Good morning too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're great.
Kabisa.
Salimia watazamaji.
First of all, nikuwashukuru watazamaji kwa vile wako pamoja na sisi na watu wetu pale ili tuweze kuangalia ni yapi ambayo anaangazia siku ya leo. Karibuni sana.
Yeah, but before anything else, it is always our norm to give them that is the verse of the day. And today's verse comes from that is Hebrews 10:36, and this is what it says. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what was promised. So hapo kwenye the verse of today inaanza kwa kusema for you have need of endurance. I always bring that aspect here. Endurance is necessary. It reminds us that we need to be patient in times of things are not working out. Patience and perseverance are essential for a Christian journey. And then it continues and says, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what you have promised. So and your party endurance, it means that trials and challenges, they come to test your faith, but apart from testing your faith, they're there to strengthen you. And inaendelea kwa kusema for you when you have done the will of God. Kwa hivyo it brings that aspect here, obedience to God's will. You must continue doing what pleases God even when results are not immediate, and God's blessings and promises are fulfilled to you as a believer, to you as a Christian, after you have endured that is faithfully. Also, endurance, they build a spiritual capacity and a spiritual muscles. Kwa hivyo, you're given that is the verse of today is reminding us to keep on moving in times of challenges, to keep on thriving, for after endurance, the God's promises will be fulfilled in our lives. What's your take?
Just to add on that is that the issue is to pray to God so that everything that we do should be unto His will. Because ukiangalia pale imesema when you have done the will of God, so as you to receive what was promised. Because sometimes tunafanya vitu according to our own understanding, according to our own experience, according to the way we think, the way we see. That's why sometimes unakuta kuna so many challenges. But the thing is, let us pray so that everything that we do should be according to the will of God.
I agree. And that is the verse of the day. And now let's head over to what has been happening, because each and every day there are new stories, and it is our responsibility to make sure that you as a Kenyan citizen, you stay updated of what is happening. I have the Daily Nation with me.
I have the Standard newspaper. And
on today's Daily Nation, these are some of the highlights of what we'll be checking out. Tutangale that is the education sector. Can see a teacher split over SHA medical cover. This is something that has been ongoing. And then we'll be checking that is matters to do with leadership and the governance. And then tutangalia legal and crime. I love tutangalia that is the police sector and other stories as well. What about you?
Nikiangalia hapa kuna information ya walimu na pia some information of the SHA and the join ambao waliingia now, and some other issues to do with the security among the other stories. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the Standard.
Gazeti la Standard, that is page 4, 5 and 6. Naona zinaongelelea mambo ya walimu but on a different capacity. Na nikiangalia hapa gazeti inasema that is teachers clash with the principals, TSC caught in the middle of all these tumor that is there. And nikiangalia hapa gazeti la Standard vile ambavyo wameweza kuelezea, inaonekana kana kwamba kumekuwa na issue ambayo imekuwa kidepress, that is some of the teachers across the nation. So nikiangalia hapa kulingana vile wanasema, revelation from teachers who have decided to air their grievances online since no one is giving them a listening ear paints a depressing picture of an employer, that is a TSC, ignoring the tutors, treating the profession with disrespect and making the noble vocation appear that is demeaning and undervalued. From the cases, kuna cases ambazo zimekuwa zikiraisiwa things to do issue of bribery deeply, that is kuna tribalism issues ambayo imekuwa ikiendelea pale, kuna hinderness by school principals, na kuna mambo mengi ambayo yamekuwa pale, na pia skewed promotions, real struggle faced by teachers across that is countrywide are now being exposed. Kiangalia na kulingana na vile gazeti ambapo inaweza kuelezea hapa, walimu wengi wamekuwa na so many stress ambazo zimeambatana, for instance na yale masuala ambayo yanakumba watu wengi. Then secondly, kuna ile the working condition ambayo tunaona hapa wamekuwa na challenges nayo. So ukiangalia hapa wanasema that is kumekuwa na issue of tribalism, kumekuwa na the issue pia ya mambo na promotion, because there are so many other teachers ambao that is wamekuwa kitafuta the promotion, kwa sababu wakati mtu anaongezea masomo kuna ile that is anaenda ana apply, but unakuta kuna some of the challenges ambazo ziko hapa. Then kuna some of the teachers pia wana work under so many harsh conditions in the areas ambao walikuwa deployed. So inaonekana kana kwamba all these issues wakati that is wamejaribu kuziraise, wanaona ni kama haijafikiwa. That's why wengi wao wameweza kwenda pale online, wengi wanatuma their submission pale online, wengi wanarusha their grievances pale online, because kuna mambo mengi sana ambao walimu wamekuwa wakiyapitia. Unajua pia most of these teachers, kwa sababu ni wa public that is schools, ukiangalia hata even to local televisions, tunaweza kuona ya kwamba hadi the standards of the classrooms ambazo ziko pale, the standard of the school itself, unakuta the standard yenyewe iko chini, unakuta sanitation bado it is very poor, unakuta pia saa zingine wakati kuna nyesha yale madarasa that is wanafunzi wananyeshewa, unakuta darasa moja unakuta iko na wanafunzi wengi sana beyond the capacity that is needed. So there are so many challenges ambao that is walimu wamepitia whenever wanajaribu kutuma haya maswala kwa TSC. Unakuta haya maswala pengine hayachukuliwi maanani, because sasa ukiangalia hapa sasa kama kuna wengine pia bado wana raise some of the issues. Nikiangalia hapa that is kuna the issue now to do with the also maternity leave. Nikiangalia hapa kuna mmoja ambaye ameamua that is kusema yale maswala ambayo amepitia after 2 months post delivery. Her maternity leave was cut short, forcing her to return to work earlier than advised. Life at work seems that is life at work soon became unbearable. She constantly accused me of pain for months. So ukiangalia sasa kama huyu ile leave yake ambayo alikuwa ameapply, because normally kuna ile form ambayo wafanyikazi huwa wana apply wanajaza, na kuna yale that is zile mezi ambao that is huwa wanapatiwa. Watu unakuta sasa kama huyu anajaribu explain anakuta ya kwamba hii ilikuwa cut short. So kuna masuala mengi ambayo that is tunaona walimu wamekuwa kipitia hapa, na haya masuala yote imeweza kufika that is pale kwa TSC, na pia nimeona that is the committee of ya wale wabunge ambao wanahusikana na education wameweza kuchukua haya masuala, kwa sababu ni masuala ambayo yanafaa yaangalie, because walimu ni wafanyikazi ambao pia kazi yao wanaifanya kwa uangalifu, na kila mtu amepitia mikononi mwa walimu. So it's something that needs to be addressed, because ni kitu hatujawahi sikia, because mara mingi tunaonaga ni mishahara ya walimu inaangaliwa hapa, mara mingi tunaona ni masuala mengine ambayo yako hapa, but this now sasa inaoneshana pia kuna wengine wao ambao wanapitia certain issues na certain condition ambayo sasa ina affect that is masomo, na pia ina affect that is masomo pia wanafunzi pale.
I agree.
Yeah.
And another stories, let's shift our focus, that is matters to do with the economy. That is page 6 of the Daily Nation, and this story centers on the Wiper Party leader, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, and dispute. The Wiper Party leader has claimed the state corporation is one of the country's most profitable entities, and Kalonzo opposes the KPC, that is the Kenya Pipeline Company sale, amid Dange oil split row. And Kalonzo Musyoka is opposing the government's plan to privatize that is the Kenya Pipeline Company, and he argues that the KPC is one of most Kenya profitable state corporations, and selling it will be a mistake, especially considering its involvement selling it would be a mistake, especially considering its involvement in a major oil spill scandal that happened in Thange, that is Makueni. And the story that is being mentioned, the oil spill that is what happened, that is in 2015, when the Kenya pipeline burst in Thange village, releasing large amount of oil that contaminated the seasonal Thange River and nearby farms surrounding the environment. And since then, the residents have suffered serious health complications such as liver damage, diabetes, and other diseases. So this is going to bring a great impact that is into a nation. But according to the president, the reason as to why he wants to privatize, that is the KPC, is to raise revenue for the government, because you know the government is facing budget deficits and high public debt. So selling the shares in state corporations like KPC would bring quick cash and would allow the state to generate, that is, billions of shillings from investors, and they can use those funds for infrastructure, social programs, and debt repayment. So in short, this plan, it's part of a money raising strategy, and also it's going to improve, that is, efficiency in our country, bring professional management, reduce wastage and political interference. That is according to our president. And in additionally to that, he believes that he's going to unlock, that is, KPC full potential, since it's a profitable company. And according to the government, they're saying that it hasn't reached its maximum earning potential due to bureaucracy, and that's why they believe that by allowing the private investors, the state hopes to expand the KPC to regional oil transport network, modernize infrastructure, and attract foreign investment into Kenya. So that is the reason as to why they want to privatize the KPC. And the things that Mr. Kimotho, they're saying that they want to do, that is pay debts, increase that, develop infrastructure and other things. And they believe that by selling the KPC to the investors, it's going to unlock its full potential. Can't we do that for ourselves?
I don't know the reason as to why, because it was purely owned by the government.
Yeah.
So whenever now wanasema ya kwamba that is kuna some issues, it is now them ambao wamefail, because even if we privatize, the same issues bado zitaraise, because they still need, that is to pay those people, bado management, na pia wakati inakuwa privatized inamaanisha kuna wale watu ambao watanunua shares. So is the government going to be the biggest and the largest shareholder of those shares? Because sasa isipokuwa inamaanisha kutakuwa na ile control ambayo itakontroliwa na watu wale wengine. Then at the same time, that is kuna conflict of interest. How are they going to ensure that some of the people in government do not hold a lot of shares? Because wale the civil servant pia wakihold a lot of shares, na maanisha pia kutakuwa na issues ambazo zitakuwa ziko pale. Then pia kuna regulations even of the oil, the prices, and everything else that is going to be there, because wakati sasa inakuwa privatized, inamaanisha kuna ile regulation ya kwamba that is the government cannot be able now to regulate certain issues, because sasa already iko owned na certain person. Because kama saizi ambavyo now operations iko na government, so it becomes very hard now kuenda against now what has been been there. So kuna a lot of issues ambazo ziko pale na zinafaa ziangaliwe, because pia unakuta kuna wale pia ambao watu wamekuwa kiishi along ile mahali, that is ile pipe wacha tuita kama pipe, mahali imekuwa ikipitisha, that is the oil, na tuliona kulikuwa na ile kisanga, ile leakage ambayo ilikuwa pale. So kuna a lot of things ambazo inafaa iangaliwe, because hii isipoangalia vizuri, tumekuwa tukiona kuna other nations ambazo wamekuwa affected na certain issues, especially now it comes now to the control of that is the oil company. I
agree.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see what will happen, and I hope they'll make a wise decision, because this is going to impact Kenya. And if the government believes that this is a strategy for them to pay, that is the debts that we own to the debtors wenye tumechukua madeni huko, then they should stop increasing taxes basi for the Kenyan citizens.
Yeah, because pia unajua hiyo kuprivatize si mbaya.
Yeah.
Watu wangefanya kwa zile kampuni ambazo zilianguka sana.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu unajua KPLC ilikuwa ikifanya vibaya, ilikuwa ikifanya vizuri. Hivyo wangefanya kwa zile ambazo zilianguka vibaya sana kama za Parethram, maybe for example kama za Sugarcane, hizo pengine ndizo ongeza kuangalia sana waone kama wakipatia the private sector vile ambavyo zitafanya, lakini si kupatiana kila kitu. Wangefanya because it is something ambayo tujaifanya, ndio tunaifanya safari ya kwanza, ndio sasa tuone vile ambavyo itakuwa kwa. That's unaona sasa kuna so many other people wamekuwa against it because ni kitu ambacho haijakuwa defined vizuri, na pia the control of the activities. Yeah.
Okay. And you have something else, another story?
Yesterday kulikuwa na report that is tuliona that is a judiciary and the police that is kulikuwa na ile session ambao walikuwa pale. Kuna masuala kadhaa ambayo wakati walikuwa kwa hiyo mkutano, kuna masuala kadhaa naona ambayo yaliweza kutolewa hapa. Kwa sababu kuna zile reports zimekuwa zikitolewa, that is the police officers, the judiciary, vile ambavyo wamekuwa wakifanya kazi na mambo yale mengine ambayo yamekuwa pale. So parliament passing unconstitutional laws and police officers encouraging more of justice, while the poor languish in that is remand for lack of a bail, reflects the current phase of justice in Kenya. In a rare admission, that is the interior, that is Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen acknowledged that police officers often incite Kenyans to take the law into their own hands, particularly when suspects are released by the courts. Some of the mob justice is encouraged by the police. In fact, in most cases where suspects are arrested, taken to court and released, it's the police who probe the people to do some things. They then start investigations, and when questioned, they claim the matter is still under investigation. That is according now to the CS, which is also very critical because this thing is happening to the department that he holds, and maybe now he could have stated over what are they going to do about it, because when some of these things inafanyika, that is from wale ambao wanatakikana, that is upload, that is the law itself, inakuwa na a lot of questions. And also at the same time pia tukiona that is pia the Attorney General pia naye anasema that is there are 50 laws passed by Parliament had been declared unconstitutional, while 60 others were bado ziliadoptiwa. She added that most people held in remand rare due to poverty. In an ironic twist, corruption cases according that is to 0.1%. So ukiangalia pia Attorney General anasema kuna wale ambao wamekuwa that is arrested na that is a petty offenders, na wakiingia pale remand wanashindwa kutoa hiyo bail, na hapa anasema pia that was now also due to poverty. So kuna hizo report ambazo wamekuwa kifanya na waliweza kurelease. So tukiangalia bado hapa, tukiangalia pia bado upande wa that is the state of justice, naona hapo akisema that is 50 laws from Parliament declared unconstitutional, 60 laws considered that is obsolete according to the Attorney General, 0.1% shares of grant cases among that is 96,676 serious crimes reported in 2024/2025. So ukiangalia hizo cases ni mingi sana, because wanasema serious crimes ambazo ni 96,679. 24,733 cases of offenses against persons, Kenyans most prevalent crimes. So ukiangalia hizi bado ni cases ambazo bado ziko pale. Ukifanya the amount of these cases na the amount of that is the judges ambao tuko nao, that's unaona kuna some of the cases inaenda even up to 5 to 10 years, because hizi kesi that is ni mingi sana, na the judges ambao tuko nao ni wachache. 59,013 total adult prisoners in Kenya, that is 2024-2025, of which 36,575 are convicted and 22,436 are remanded, down from 26,579. So ukiangalia hawa 22,436 bado inamaanisha kesi zao bado zinaangaziwa na wako pale, na wengine wao wameshindwa kutoa ile pesa ambao walitolewa kama fine. So 92% male prisoners, 8% female prisoners. So wale wafungwa wengi ambao wako kule ndani wengi ni wanaume, na the female pia ni only wachache 90%. So 1206 people jail for that is kwa yale madeni madogo up to from that is 739 that is last year. So ukiangalia bado kuna issues ambazo bado zime increase pale. So cases involve just that is a that is a child offenders, bado hapa ninaona that is ni mingi sana because 177,482, yani that is a lot. So it means that kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanafaa yafanyike, that is the civic education, na pia kuangalia masuala mengine, na pia the issue now to do with the child protection pia inafaa iangalie. Pia kuna 242 police related offenses up to zilikuwa 2 or 3, sasa unaona zime hike hadi 242 police related offenses ambazo ziko pale, na pia kuna 1010 complaints against police, that is to IPOA cases ambazo zimekuwa pale. So this was a report ambayo ilitolewa pale kuweza kuangalia vile ambavyo that is a judiciary watafanya, that is a report ya judiciary, report ya attorney general, and also report from now the police itself. Na ndio walikuwa na kikao jana, that's one of some of these issues zimeweza kutolea. Na ukiangalia pia the CSP mwenyewe anasema that is kuna some of the crimes that is the mob justice issues ambazo zinachangiwa na polisi wenyewe, na hajatuambia the solution to it. Pia the attorney general pia tunaona naye pia akisema akitoa report yake, na pia tunaona pia upande wa judiciary pia nao waliweza kutoa that is their own report. Yeah.
Okay. And another story that is on page 7. Mr. Kimotho, ushifanyia wash. Because I can see that is something that has been highlighted here, that is page 7. And they say that crime fraudsters harvest personal data through theft, phishing scams, SIM swap, fraud, or corrupt registration agents. And you know, the backstory of this is with Kenya rapid move that is into digital services, mobile banking, online shopping, payments. Fraudsters have adapted and grown their tactics accordingly, and the proliferation of mobile phones, that is they say that Kenya's phone penetration rate is said to be about, that is 133.7%, and it means that many transactions and communications happen via mobile channels, which open up opportunities for scams. And there is a story that has been highlighted now that is on page 7, and they say that stolen identities and shattered lives, how Kenyans are trapped in rising fraud wave that is in our country. And fraudsters exploit weaknesses in verification systems to register SIM cards, take out loans, and even sell property. And there is a very interesting story here that I'm going to read briefly. It's a story of someone by the name that is Boniface Washira, and his life took an abrupt and unexpected turn that is in March 2020 when he visited a bank that is in Eldoret seeking a loan to expand his business. To his shock, the application was denied. And the reason as to why it was denied is not because his business lacked potential, but because his name has been flagged as a loan defaulter in a credit reference business bureau, that is CRB database. And further inquiries revealed that the cause, a mobile number registered under his national identity card, has been fraudulently used by a stranger to borrow money from a digital lender. This is very sad, right? Yeah. Unaenda kuomba loan, kumbe uko na ingine kubwa kuliko yenye unaenda kuomba, and you did not do that. Somebody else used your ID without your knowledge.
And it becomes very hard to prove it was not you.
Yeah.
Because the information was used. So something needs to be done, especially now when it comes now to the issue of cyber crimes and online, all those issues. Na maanisha sasa hapo that is pia kuna improvement ya that is now to a technology when it comes now to a security forces, wanafaa pia wa advance to it, na pia kuna kuwe na ile that is due diligence, because sasa kama huyo atafusiwa kulipa loan ambayo yeye mwenyewe, na at the same time pia kama kuna hiyo issue ambayo pia that is aligundua, it's always good to go and report. Ukuwe na ile that is the OB unakuwa nayo pale, so that in case of anything else utakuwa kwamba wewe uliweza kureport kuna issue ambayo iliweza kufanyika pale. Anytime that is your ID imepotea, kimbia report, because you don't know yule mtu ambaye atapata hiyo ID ni nini atafanyia pale. Any other time, yeah, that is hata kama ni gadget ya simu imepotea, it is always good to report ili ku avoid some of these cases ambazo utapatana nazo kule mbele.
I agree, and this can bring an impact that is into our country and our government when it comes to that is economy and trust, because fraud undermines that is digital adoption, and it slows down that is the growth, and it also affects that is investors' confidence, and it can increase the cost of bank and insurance, raising premiums so that people can prevent that is fraud cases. Yeah,
I think what they can do, because squeeze naona kuna ile the you need to 2 steps whatever something verification. Pia wanafaa ensure that imekuwa enhanced, because pia kujeza tu details tu za mtu na unaweza kuona wana guarantee loan is not isiyo kitu ambayo pia inafaa kweli prove or something, because unajua sasa kuna wale that is a money lending, na pia unakuta saa zingine unaweza unaweza jipata kwa crime, that is kuna wale unaweza jipata pengine simu yako imeibiwa, ama pengine umevamiwa na wezi, then wanakuforce kufanya haya mambo yote ambayo huwa wanafanyia watu. So they need also now to enhance certain issues ama certain things ambazo zinakuwa ziko pale, because unajua sana issue now to do with fraud, especially now pia na unakuta your registration, that is your details inakuwa registered na another person, na huyo mtu anaenda hadi anafanya mambo mengine mengi, na that is the same thing. So we also need also now to come out and enhance security measures in all those, that is kwa telecommunication na pia in any other transaction online.
Yeah, and the authorities may face that is more pressure to strengthen the cyber security laws for consumer protection.
Yes,
I hope they'll do something about that. And we shift our focus onto other stories. You have something?
And also something related to the issue of online. Naona that is the court jana, that is kuna some statement to a government not ready to offer fully paperless services. Now that is now according to the court. So judge, that is a high court judge, that is Rollins Mugambi, judge said the system allowing manual services for those without internet and online for others would be practical. That is so kuna yule petition ambayo alikuwa na argue that the state was offering online, that is services without first rolling out ICT, that is infrastructure, that is nationwide. So the High Court has declined to compel government services to go fully paperless. In his judgment, that is Justice Rollins Mugambi said it will be unrealistic and too expensive for the country to eliminate manual services immediately. He added that a hybrid system where those without internet access are served manually while others use online platform was more practical. So una hii issue ambayo imekuwa pale kotini, ukiangalia that is the government imekuwa ikitaka that is to kupeleka services, all the services zote ziweze ku online, but pia kuna ile argument ya kwamba kuna some of the areas pia bado kuna infrastructure ICT bado ambaye itakuwa ina block watu wengine, that is kuweza kuseek some of these services. So yeye mwenyewe sasa ya kwamba bado kunaweza endelea na ile the manual system na pia the online system. So is also a challenge ambayo pia iko upon now, that is upon the government. So he said that there was evidence that the ICT ministry had stated the process of putting up to 100,000 kilometers of fiber within 5 years, and plans were also underway to allow that is 25,000 hotspot throughout the country to boost the public access to the internet and set up over 14,500 digital labs. So the judge pia ameemphasize ya kwamba the promises that the government pia iliweza kupromise ya kuweza kuensure that is all the areas zimekuwa equipped na internet, yale that is they should ensure that they have done it, ili kana kwamba all these processes ambao anasema zote zinafaa ziingie online ziweze that is square and fair kwa wengine, because unakuta kuna some areas ambao pia kuna shida internet na mambo yale mengine ambayo yako pale. Nakumbuka ya kwamba that is the digital platform tuko na 22,000, that is a number of government services from e-citizen from the ministries, counties, department and other agencies. So that is now pia hiyo ni ni issue ambayo iliweza kutolewa, na kwa sababu unajua kuna wale petitioner pia walikuwa wamefuata their case pale. So that is the direction that we can see, that is we are not yet fully, hatuwezi enda fully, but pia tusikatae the manual system itself.
Okay.
Yes.
And another story is that is one of the highlights that is in page 1 of the Daily Nation. They call it a double loss, as a double loss that is for our country, as Bishop Sulemeti and the gospel singer that is Betty Bayo dies after battling. Betty Bayo is a well-known gospel singer, and I think the first song in the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And she dies after battling that is blood cancer. She died yesterday. That is yesterday, yeah. And I can see here they have violated her last post. She shared that is on Sunday a Bible verse, and akasema, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I hope this verse will apply for the family. They can do all things through Christ who strengthens them. And when it comes to that is Sulemeti, and they say tribute. Sulemeti's vision for education and health was rooted in Catholic Church tradition for social ministry, and they can see here they've highlighted many achievements that he has made that is for our country. And they say 50 years in the vineyard, a life and times of Catholic Church, Bishop Philip Sulemeti. So all that we can say is condolences to the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say condolences, that is to the family and friends, and also to the family of Betty Bayo.
Yeah.
She has been battling with it, and we thank you for the friends ambao wamekuwa wakimsupport, because wamekuwa hospitalized for a while. Kuna wale that is friends and musicians ambao wamekuwa wakijitolea sana, and na tuliona pia wakiweza kufika pale na kuweza kuwa support. So we say condolences, na pia tunaomba that is Mungu aweze kuwafariji.
Yeah. So you have something as we wind up?
So as we wind up is that just from some questions ambazo naonaga hapa, that is wakiweza kuuliza, Africa is now teeming with dictatorship, that is according now to some of the report ambayo inakuwa related hapa. Kuna some of these issues tumekuwa tukiona what has been happening, especially in our neighboring nation, another African nation, and it's something that needs also now to be dealt with. Iache kuitwa Africa. So wache ikuwe specified na some of the other nations, because ikiweko Africa inafanya wengine ambao hawana hiyo maneno. Pia tukiangalia hapa pia bado naona why those seeking jobs abroad must be careful. Naona pia kuna wengine ambao wanatoa statement hapo kwa sababu ya the fraud cases ambazo zimekuwa zikiendelea pale. Pia nikiangalia wengine wanasema NCIC has failed to rein in the hate mongering politicians, consider doing away with it. So tumekuwa tena kuna some of the statements, some of the politicians wamekuwa wakiongea, na kuna hii commission ambayo that is inafaa kuangalia haya maneno, na imeenda quiet, na inafaa iangalia, in fact inafaa intensify kabisa, because tunaelekea during now the serious campaigns. So wanafaa waangalia haya maneno, because that is those insightful statement from the politicians is who zina create anxiety and tension whenever tunakaribia election.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess that is what we had to check out today on what has been happening that is in our country.
Yeah.
You have something to tell the viewers as we wind up?
Just to thank our viewers, and also to wish them a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for viewers, thank you so much for tuning in for today's show. We are always here to making sure that you as a Kenyan citizen will stay updated of what is happening that is in our country and beyond. Just a reminder that we'll be having that is the annual prophetic prayer congress that will be happening at Mizpah Prayer Center this coming December. That is from the 1st to the 5th, and we'll be having great and powerful servants of God who will be there to impact us with more grace. We will purpose to attend, because I know there is something that God has for you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And for accommodation purposes booking, please contact 07-277-66553. This segment has been sponsored by Mirugi Karaoke and Co-Advocates, that was founded that is 1979 by the late Honorable that is Mirugi Karaoke. And it deals with the diverse areas including land disputes, conveyance, buying, selling and transfer of properties, banking and security perfection, succession, family law, wills, and settling commercial disputes, and insurance, and also personal injuries. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Angela Kabete. Till next time, may God bless you abundantly. Have a lovely day.